Bears have the number 1 pick. Here's what I would do if I were Chicago in their shoes. Trade down to whatever slot you know that you can still get Georgia's Jalen Carter, because you've got to fill voids of Akeem Hicks is no longer there, the guy who held it down in the middle for your defense for a long time. Khalil Mack is now with the Los Angeles Chargers. Roquan Smith is no longer there. You traded him to the Ravens. And Robert Quinn, you traded to the Eagles. So this defense needs help. The offense with Justin Fields say, wait a second, this was perhaps the worst offensive line in the league. And Justin Fields, if you look, we're all tantalized by his ability, but who's he throwing to? So he has perhaps a top 5 worst offensive line, perhaps a top 5 worst wide receiving group. But this is why I trade down. I get Jalen Carter to fortify the middle of my defense, and then I can use those other picks to get Justin Fields the help that he needs. Now, I do understand the logic to say, should the Bears trade Justin Fields for more picks, and then you could draft, say, a Bryce Young or one of the other quarterbacks number 1? Because if you draft a rookie quarterback, you have 5 years of a rookie quarterback salary. Right now, Justin Fields and the Bears, they got 3 years left. The 2 years left on the remaining on the rookie deal and the 5th-year option. Time is ticking, and so if you're not going to improve the roster quickly around Fields, eventually you're going to have to pay him when his rookie deal is up. Now, the Bears have more than $100 million in salary cap space. They have a ton of picks. So it's like a blank canvas of how do you want it to improve this Bears roster quickly. But now remember, they don't have their 2nd-round pick because they traded that away to the Steelers in the Chase Claypool trade. So if you're the Bears, what do? I understand the logic in drafting a rookie quarterback, but that's a total unknown in terms of a rookie quarterback's ability to develop in this league. It's really like a 50-50 proposition. So unless you have someone that just blows you away, I would see what you have in Justin Fields. Go on and draft a stud at the top, but trade down, because if you just draft that stud with the number 1 pick, there is going to be a team that wants to move up to number 1 to make sure that they're getting their guy, particularly and probably at the quarterback position. So if I'm the Bears, how much value can I get for that number 1 pick? How much value can I get for that number 1 pick? And I've thought about it a lot of, should the Bears trade away Justin Fields? And it's like, do you want to try to rip the Band-Aid off to treat a flesh wound yet again? Because this is a franchise that had been looking for a quarterback since Sid Luckman. So that's just my thought process and logic with the Chicago Bears of what I think that they should do. We'll see. There's a lot of time between now and April's draft of how the Bears should handle this. And one other thought with this. The Bears general manager, Ryan Poles, got asked about, do you want to build around Justin Fields? And he said, yeah, we think he's the quarterback of the future. We'd have to be blown away to say, hey, we'll draft the quarterback with the number 1 pick and consider trading Fields. Ryan Poles isn't going to answer that question honestly for this reason. If he says, yes, we're considering trading Justin Fields, we're definitely evaluating quarterbacks, he's diminishing Fields' value. So if you're Ryan Poles, you want to drive up Fields' value to say, could you get a 1st-round pick and maybe a 3rd-round pick? I've seen a lot of trade possibilities out there, but Fields was a 1st-round pick. Remember that. Could you get multiple picks for Justin Fields? Could you get multiple picks that's even beyond what his value was when the Bears drafted him in the 1st round 2 years ago? So when Ryan Poles answers that question, even if the Bears are seriously considering Fields, and I'd expect them to, they were 3-14 this past season. They should consider all options, is the point I'm trying to make. Poles isn't going to say, yeah, we're definitely considering trading Justin Fields, because he doesn't want to diminish the value on his own asset. So think about that more critically in terms of verbatim what he says, because if, say, the Bears do draft Justin Fields, there's going to be a media uproar of, well, Ryan Poles said that this wasn't going to happen. That's not what's happening here. He's trying to make sure that the value of his quarterback remains high, while also instilling confidence in Fields if Fields does return back for the 2023 season, which is what I expect, by the way. So there's some strategic, it's not just verbatim what he's saying to media members because it's not in Ryan Poles or the Chicago Bears' best interest to completely tell the truth when you're asking that question of, hey, what are you going to do with Justin Fields this offseason? It's going to be very interesting to see how all of that shakes out. But again, if I'm Ryan Poles and the Bears, trade down, go get Jalen Carter, fortify the middle of your defense, get more picks back, and then use the rest of those picks to help Justin Fields out. Up front, tight end, wide receiver. I'd start at the line of scrimmage. When he sacked for a league high in sacks this season, 55 times Justin Fields was sacked in the 2022 season. That's what I would do.